listening to Common Sense on the Breakfast Club talk about his album, A Beautiful Revolution. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't been listening to Common lately just because he been on the campaign trail for the Democrats. And I ain't Democratic or Republican, but I just be looking at hip-hop artists funny when they just be campaigning all the goddamn time. Because I know they mean well, but it's like, nigga, the Democrats and the Republicans ain't helping us, bro. We need to start our own shit. Anyways, so yeah, I'm listening to Common again. I got mad love and respect for Common. At one point, he was my favorite rapper. Probably before Jay-Z took that spot. It was Common Sense, for sure. You know, Jay got that line. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 mil, and I ain't been rapping like Common Sense. So yeah, Common was my favorite. Common's a dope individual, great lyricist, great artist. But here's the jewel that just dawned on me. He's talking about Americanism and how we perpetuate some bullshit with this capitalistic, what's it called? It's a predatory system. Leeches, vultures. Basically, it preys on the bottom. You know, there has to be humans that are sacrificed in order to hold up the top. So, his point on this song, and I'm about to get into his album after I listen to this interview, about Americanism is until we address that, all the other things are going to be symptoms of it. The racism, the sexism, you know, and all the other isms. And I was like, damn, that's dope. And then the bar came into my head is, black people been speaking on the unfair treatment here in America, and we call it racism. And when we fight for rights, though, we truly fight for the rights of all people, which is human rights. You know, so people aren't discriminated against. That's why whenever we speak, we say minorities, we say black and brown communities. Mostly we don't say minorities, but we say black and brown. Because we're looking out for those that aren't even just us, but others that are suffering. Just poor people in general. Like Martin Luther King, before they assassinated him, the Poor People's Movement. So I'm saying that to say, it's very, very, very clear that this thing is about good and evil. It's always been about that for me. And I always thought that the fight for my people was on the side of good. And that's what it is. And I still believe that. But here's the pivot. Instead of talking about racism and black people suffering, but then fighting for all people's rights, we should change our narrative. We should start talking about all people's rights, human rights, just right and wrong. That way, they can't combat us when we're talking, because we're talking about human suffering, not just our suffering. And then when we go to ask for things, we should ask for black people things. Because what we've been doing is talking about black people items and then going and letting minorities and everybody else, women, LGBT, Native Americans, all these people get it, and we don't get shit. Maybe that's because in etymology or in law, black means nothing. So we keep asking for something for darkness, blackness, and we get nothing. So we need to either stop calling ourselves black, which I know a lot of people have a fucking problem with that because they don't know history. We haven't even always been black. Black used to be a derogatory name. We done been all kind of shit. Haven't y'all seen that? Negro, black, colored. There's other names too that I can't even think of right now. African American, there you go. So yeah, we need to stop taking on the identities that these people have given us and fight for human rights and right and wrong, and stop talking about black. But we do need to be specific when the resources are doled out and they do listen to us. That shit needs to come to the Nijis, or the Native American people, the black natives of this land. I know y'all used to seeing amalgamated, or whatever it's called, Caucasianoid, Asiatic looking Native American. But come on, man, we all know that black people was here before Christopher Columbus. That's not even a debate. So there's black Indians, which I said I can't say the term black anymore, but I'm gonna say it so y'all know what I'm talking about. There's melanated people that look like me and darker hue people than me that was here in America. And once we claim our status in our land, then we can start putting things back in place and in order. Stop talking about all this imaginary shit that they gave us. All right, that's it. That's all I got. I know that was all over the place, but it makes sense to me. So we're talking to our future selves. I'm living in the now because it's going to affect my future. And I ain't worried about the past because that was painted by somebody else. I'm pushing forward. All right, love y'all. I'm out. About to go listen to this Common album. Yeti.